Yeah, he's literally
champion.
getting treated like he's not even getting treated like a human anymore.
You can't just say, oh, he's unvaxxed, so he can't come in. Like,
if he's allowed to play, he's going to be angry. He's going to be a tough motherfucker to beat. How many backhands do you think he'll miss if he's pissed at the crowd like, oh, what?
This ain't a milli rock, this a money dance, and my dick ain't hard, that's a 30 in my pants. I got 30 of them bands, I'ma make a script a dance, and I'ma fuck a nigga bitch, cause he nerdy, she a fan. The molly either white or it's yellow, like some sand. If you need it, hit my line, no, I got it on a man. I see cotton thizzle Zans, that's what made me all these bands.
No Boundaries, episode 7, somewhat of a special episode here. Again, joined with the big dogs, James FRAWLEY and none other than Nick KYRGIOS. What's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Spider-Man, baby.
Good to be back, boys.
It's good to be back, boys. We're all doing our own thing. Melbourne, Canberra. One of us is holding each city of Australia down. That tends to be how it is.
It's a little bit like
I'm
that.
in Sydney at the moment. Yeah,
it's a little
bit like that, boys. It's
a little bit like that, isn't it? Like we said in the last episode, we're always got to have one of us holding it down in the bearer.
That's it, mate. That's me at the moment.
That's it. But we got a big episode kind of planned here. I mean, like I said, a little bit of a small kind of segmented episode compared to others. So maybe Frawls, you want to kick us off in, we'll start proceeding, should I say, and we'll just kind of dive deeper as we go, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So like, as everyone's pretty much aware of, like, there's a Novak Djokovic situation going on at the moment. And all three of us really wanted to get on and share our opinions on what we think about it all. Obviously being in the tennis world and close to it, we just thought we should share our opinions. So Babs, how about you kick us off, mate?
Well, I mean, definitely, I think if at this point, if you've been, living under a rock, obviously you probably, you've been missing the headlines, but obviously Novak being denied entry into Australia, after landing into Melbourne is going to cause some headwaves across the nation, isn't it? Obviously, and no doubt across the world, but mostly he's kind of been pretty open about, the mandated vaccine and kind of being against it for a long time now. Hey, Kicks.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely one of the athletes, globally. There's a couple, we spoke about this, I think, in episode 3 about Kyrie. Obviously, another global athlete like that that's, chosen the side of, I guess, freedom and not, the side of mandating the vaccine. But I think, Novak, kind of made a stand early. And I think people that know Novak and his career know that he's, tend to, tilt towards that side of, doing the more natural type of, his diet's obviously vegan, he's more that type of athlete. So, I think he made his stance pretty early. But I mean, obviously for me, my phone's been blowing up, obviously. Before I made many comments about it, it was we're just waiting for KYRGIOS' statements. And I was just I was a bit exhausted. I had people sending me photos and memes, and it was I wasn't even in the situation, but I was fucking exhausted from it. Do you know what I mean? So
definitely,
as a fellow athlete, and we all know how much Novak carries and how much pressure that he has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I could only imagine how his life is.
Yeah.
But with this on top of it, as a fellow athlete, I'm just feeling for him at this moment in time. I feel like whether it's right or wrong, and there's so much going on that we don't know, obviously,
yeah, definitely
politics behind it all. But it's just he's a human at the end of the day, and everything he's dealing with, the memes, the headlines, I kind of feel sorry for him. That's where I stand at the moment.
Heavy.
I don't think this is the right way to go about it. Even if it's, if he's not vaccinated or not, it's just visa's not okay or not. Because I believe that there are some people that have come to our country with an accidental wrong visa, say, and they've had time maybe to get their visa right and then enter the country. But because it's Novak, I feel I don't know, we're almost going a step further to, punish him in a sense.
Well, we're almost chucking him on the sorry to interrupt, but you're almost chucking him on the Jesus piece and just crucifying him a little bit here.
Exactly. And he's a human at the end of the day. I just don't think how we're going about it's the right way. And that's coming from someone that, we've had run-ins and we've had comments about each other, but it's not right. I mean, how do you guys feel about it? Do you know what I mean? As athletes, how strenuous travel is already. He just wants to come. He's literally, his only goal is to come here and play tennis. And now he's almost I just don't know if we're going about it the right way as a country at the moment. But,
For all, you want to dive in real quick?
Yeah, I think it's just such a complicated issue. But I reckon we just go back to the facts, which is he was given a medical exemption
Well, it was two
so he
different
got on-
boards, right? Two different medical boards.
Yeah, so from what I've read, like there was two different medical boards that were independent that gave him the medical exemption for him to come.
First off, let's
And,
just
like-
also say that these are just like, our opinions on stuff. We obviously won't have all the facts.
Of course.
So we're just
Yeah,
putting
like,
out
for
our
sure.
opinion there, just to kind of like tell everyone about that real
Like,
quick.
I'm pretty sure we all told that two different governing bodies, like medical governing bodies, gave him the clearance for his.
Yeah.
As far as I could read, yeah.
And I mean, like, that's like, for me, if any of us had a medical exemption and it had gone through that much, I mean, you can't really fault it. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like,
No.
you
Yeah.
can't fault it. No matter what
so-
the medical exemption is.
Yeah, that's right. Continue on, Frawls.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously people are attacking him for, whether he should get that exemption or not. But I reckon we just start with, like, the fact is he got it. So, and then he's come on a flight to Australia. And so obviously he thought he had all the right documents to get into the country. And then obviously when he's gotten here, they've stopped him at the border and they've held him in a room away from his team and all that sort of stuff.
He's also one of those he's also at one of those is like a deportation kind of hotels. Also, I don't think he's staying at the Grand Hyatt or something like that, as people probably think. There's a lot of people that have kind of been in this hotel for about 108. As I read here, it's like Novak is currently in a hotel in Melbourne awaiting his ability. It's almost like a freaking trial here. Awaiting his ability to challenge the decision on Monday before having to hightail it almost out of Australia. 180 people have been slowly released from detention in the Park Hotel in the past year. So it's like people just slowly being released almost, Such a strange, situation kind of unfolding here for us.
I don't think that's
definitely,
right.
Yeah. It's tough. Like, he was given the clearance and then he gets here and he's told that he can't come in. Like, I mean, if they're going to make that stance, I feel like that should have been done earlier.
But it's him and three other
instead
players.
Instead of letting him get on a flight. Yeah, but other players have gotten in. Apparently, there's a handful of players that have gotten in with medical exemptions.
Okay, so not knowing the full facts there, we know that like a handful of other players have entered on the same exemption that Novak had.
Yeah, well, we don't know if specifically the exact same.
Can I ask a question?
Issues.
Can I ask a question?
Smack.
Do you think if Australia had handled COVID originally a bit better, like say Melburnians not going through obviously what they went through with this like almost 300 days or something?
Yeah.
So say if they went through something like maybe half those days, like 150, do you think this would be as dramatic as it is now?
Being a Victorian myself, I'll just raise my hand up real quick, Frawls, and take this one on. I'll take a first bite at the cherry.
You know what I mean, though? Like,
yes, definitely.
Things weren't as intense as for the people, and the people weren't so pissed off.
Definitely.
And because I woke up on Sunrise and I was seeing like the first thing they're talking about was the Novak thing, straight on the news. So obviously I understand the anger, but if it was dealt better as a country to start with, do you think this would be as as big as it is?
If we weren't in such a if we hadn't been locked down for as long as we did in Victoria, I don't think people would be standing up as much, because I think people would be like, all right, well, like I didn't have it as bad as we did, right? Obviously, again, like I'd been someone who had left Victoria multiple times, Canberra, Brisbane, so like I haven't been locked down as as brutally as some in Victoria.
Yeah,
but for those people,
pretty fucking bad,
for sure, they have a right to be pretty annoyed, thinking that just because I'm a tennis player and I chase yellow fairy balls around the court and I've made X amount of money. Because I think I read one tweet, it was like, just because I've made $200 million on court or whatever means I can go wherever I want whenever I choose. I think that to me is wrong. So if he did do where I kind of sit, if he's done everything he could do and he was told by everyone he could, obviously around him and alerting him, yes, come play, you're fine. Then I have problems with how it's been, the administration side of things. But if because there's a report that Novak put down or falsified some information or got something wrong on his visa report, then I'm like, all right, it's kind of on you, like Novak, like you've obviously put down the information incorrectly. You chose not, like a bit like Nadal, because Nadal actually
and Nadal's
came out and said it today.
He knew there was repercussions of not getting vaccinated.
I side a bit with that, like not, I feel for him, but I side with it in the sense of there's a lot of people that are sacrificed, man. And I know you're an unbelievable tennis player. We all respect you through the roof, right?
Yeah.
But we've sacrificed a lot here, so it's like, are you above it?
That's what that's where I'm at. Like, I obviously feel like, there was always consequences. Like, we got told at the start, like, there were going to be consequences either way. If you weren't vaccinated, you're vaccinated, all that type of stuff. But I feel now, like, for what he's done for our sport, right? And for, like, he's won, how many times has he won the Australian Open? Like, no one else has ever won the Australian Open.
What's
as
it,
many
12
times.
times?
Like, he's a very special, I think it's 9 times or something.
I'm going to fact check it for us.
Very special athlete. Like, I feel like the one thing that pisses me off about the media is when we need to actually protect these athletes. Like, what he's going through is quite serious right now. And what I'm pissed off about is, like, the media is just so quick to jump on it. And, like, bro, like, I go on social media right now and I just see, like, so many people and pages, like, ridiculing him, like, coming up with ridiculous things. Like, I think we should be protecting the guy a little bit more rather than, like, we're just making fun. Like, it's so fucked.
We're in a generation, obviously.
I know, but it's like, it's not nice to see. Like, I don't know. Like, it was okay. It's funny. Like, we get it. Like, it's a little bit funny. But then
some of them are a laugh kick. Some of them are pretty funny.
It's like to the point now. It's just like again, like, people in the media are just like pieces of shit. Like, try and put yourself in his shoes. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's chasing history. All he wants to do is come here and play. Yeah, and he got his visa. He may have got his visa like a little bit wrong. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's exhausting. I don't know that it comes with consequences, but, like, it's a bit much now. It's to the point of where, like, the media needs to just calm the fuck down a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. I think,
like, they're not helping anyone. They're not helping him. They're not helping. Like, do you know what I mean? They're just.
But it's a bit like
I feel like the media should be simply presenting the facts and not giving an opinion on, like, what they feel, because, like, I feel like people, if they want to come out with an opposing view, like, they're just getting crucified in the media. So you almost can't have, like, an opposing view.
Me and you spoke about it, Frawls.
Exactly.
So divisive, the media at the moment.
Definitely, that's my biggest issue with it, for sure.
I don't think the media's ever played a more divisive role than, like, currently, like, put in the world. Like, whenever something, happens, it's always like, let's just divide this person with that person, or this nation with this nation. It's never
what I mean, bro. Like, I commented, like, and then Fox Sports is like, oh, like, KYRGIOS siding with Novak. Like, it's like, I'm not siding, bro. Like, the guy's a human. I just want him to be treated like a human. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if a fellow Aussie was in Serbia and they were in a similar state, would we want one of our fellow Australians to be treated like this?
No, but some of our fellow Australians were treated like this, Kicks. That's why there's a point to be made here. Like, but some Australians weren't allowed home.
Yeah, but would we expect our 20 Grand Slam time champion to be treated like this in another? No, we wouldn't.
But that's the thing, though. That's the argument here. It's like, should a 20-time Grand Slam champion
getting treated like, he's not even getting treated like a human anymore?
But but that's what I'm saying. The people that, for example, like the cricket team that got stuck in India, they got stuck there for a while, and they weren't allowed home.
Novak Djokovic, bro. And I'm not one to put these guys on the pedestal, bro. But, like,
that's the debate.
He needs, like, he's done a lot of, bro. When we had the bushfires, bro, he was supporting us. He's not like, and most of these normal people that are talking shit and saying, oh, we did all this lockdown, they didn't do shit for the bushfires, bro. He didn't have to go out of his way.
He is in a position to obviously, help.
I know that, but everyone can help, bro. Everyone can help to some extent. But I'm sure some of these people that sit on their fucking couches and comment all day, if they were in his position, wouldn't give back at all.
Some of them would just make a
correct. But, like, when we needed help, he's so keen to help. Like, dude, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's
like,
amazing.
But that's my point. But now, like, we're just treating him like he's never done anything for us. Like, he's a villain. Like, he's actually not.
I think that they should be treating him a little different. Like I said to Frawls just before we started, I think putting him in this Park Royal, like he's some illegal immigrant, I think that is wrong. That definitely is wrong. Maybe I would kind of, I could see maybe a version. I saw somewhere, for example, I made up probably a good question actually to Frawls earlier when I was like, could we travel being unvaccinated to, America or, Serbia? Like we couldn't find whether or not at the moment as it stands, an unvaccinated Australian, I don't know if we could go to Serbia right now. I actually don't know.
Are they our laws or are they?
That's their laws. That's their laws. So I was kind of trying to see, is it like the pot calling the kettle black scenario right here?
Yep.
I was unable to find that, but if I feel like we could definitely be treating him a little bit better and a little bit more humanely.
Just a little bit better.
You know, just slow it down a little bit. Like I feel like
I'm not talking about giving him my mum's cooking or anything, bro.
No, we're keeping those soup noodles.
I'm not giving him
lock.
54 Higgins.
Wait, we're keeping those soup noodles on lock, baby. I've got to get the proper ingredients. Like I've been trying to like cook some soup noodles. I've just been cooking on mockery in my house at the moment, but getting a little bit off topic.
You know what I mean? Like just a little bit better, bro. Like we could go about it a bit better, I think. Like,
well, yeah, like I think people are questioning whether he should be allowed to get the health exemption, but like at the end of the day, like how can any one of us sit here and say that? Like obviously he's gone through the process of getting it cleared. Like we can't, like everyone can have an opinion on, all right, that's just like bullshit or it's not, but he's got it. Like you have to kind of take it on face value a little bit. And there is a couple other players that have gotten it as well. Like that's why I think, well, he's gotten it. It's not, you can't just say, oh, he's unvaxxed, so he can't come in. Like he's actually gone to the effort to get that exemption. Like what more can he do, really?
I think like whatever it is, I just honestly, to put this to bed, like I just hope it gets sorted out because like this is ridiculous at the moment, bro. Like it's just everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I just think like, for example, if you're gonna, the reason why there's a lot of question marks around Novak is because he's been publicly saying for how long he doesn't want to tell anyone, you know, and obviously like Frawley says, a big defender in the sense of that's his business, that's his health, whatever, you know, he's not
for sure.
Yeah, that's okay.
No one else's business.
But there's a lot of shadiness that goes in, and I don't feel like not going to talk about this topic. It's been going on for a while now, so I think that's why a lot of the Australians be like, well, yeah, well, why won't you talk about it? Do you know what I mean? Because I think that's why like people are kind of second guessing as to like,
and you can understand
what's the smokescreen play here? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand that side too. I can. You can.
Yeah, definitely.
Like they almost.
You can definitely understand the side of like. Yeah, go.
Like the Melburnians, they feel like they need an explanation.
I think that's what it's mostly about right now. You know, like why are we giving you an exemption? You know, we want you to play, but you know, obviously Frawley tries to make a good point earlier. I don't totally discredit it when he says, you know, we have X amount of cases currently in Victoria now. But the rules never changed before nor after all these, you know, the outbreak across Australia. You know, obviously we just let it run rampant kind of thing. But the rules always been in place like that. You know, like you're only coming in if you're vaccinated before and after the big explosion, huh? But I just want to read something out here. You tell me what you feel. Someone tweeted out, you know, a fellow Australian kind of speaking out on social media, you know, inverted commas. Such a slap in the face to the Australian people to allow Djokovic a vaccine exemption after what so many people have endured here in Melbourne/Australia over the past 2 years. Some Australians weren't even allowed home to be with their families, but apparently if you are famous and chase a yellow tennis ball around the court, the rules don't apply to you. Similar to what I said before, but
what athlete was that?
No, not an athlete. It was just an Australian. Just an Australian person that's it's seen a lot of eyes, obviously. So it's
I think the whole chasing a yellow ball around is not a relevant comment because this man does a lot more than that. But I do agree. Like I do agree to the extent that I'm one to say, and I've said it before, I don't think it was right letting these people unvaccinated come into our country after everything that our nation as a whole has gone through.
That's actually what we said, episode 4, yeah, I think, when Channel 7 went all over it.
Yeah. We said that. Like, it's not right. But, like, to just classify him as someone that's famous and chases the ball around, bro, like, this guy is, like, he's more than that. Like,
he's all time.
I'm one to admit, he's more than that.
He's all time.
Like, he's not like...
Yeah, but, like... You got to see it from the general population's view. And, like, I can definitely understand, like, we're all vaxxed, but, like, you can definitely understand, like, well... If he's allowed to just come in and play, like, why did I have to go get the vaccine? Like,
I agree.
I can definitely see that side to it. But the other side is...
He's going to take his medical exemption at face value then.
Exactly. And then at the end of the day, can we really expect 100% of the population to get the vaccine? Like, I mean, that's just another topic altogether. But, like, there's going to be people that... Like, there's other tennis players that have had adverse reactions to the vaccine. Like, Shardy. Like, he can't play now.
That's a good point.
Like, what if Novak was to get it and then, like... And then something was to happen, like what would people say then?
Give the public real quick.
Ages, bro.
Give the public real quick
for ages.
What the vaccine had done to Shardy. Does one of you guys want to kind of give the people a bit of info on that?
I don't really know too much information of what happened after he got it, but yeah, but he was actually someone I actually got on quite well with and practiced with him all the time. So obviously, if that's affected him, like he wasn't like a young tennis player. He was obviously someone that loved the game. So to see someone like that get affected by the vaccine and not able to play again is quite.
It's very sad. Worrying. I mean, look, this is what we've been saying from the start. You, Nick, you were the first to get vaccinated between us three, and then Frawls, then myself. But for me, like that's why I had so much worry with it. Like I was asking you boys, how you feeling, Frawls? Like how you feeling, Nick? Like did you feel this? Did you feel that? Like I'm scared. I've had the first one. I'm a bit worried. I think these kind of like, reasons why, like, for example, Shardy had a big adverse reaction. Like I didn't want to be on court, not, worrying if I can last more than 30 minutes. Because I think that's at the moment, he can't last 30 minutes on the court or something. He just gasses so quickly. And then you just said Dimitrov had it and he had a reaction. Had
prolonging offense.
Is he coming to Australian Open? Do you know that? Do you know that?
Yeah, I believe he's coming, but like he had problems for ages. And like, it's as easy, it might not even be COVID. Like it could be something else just going around at the moment with all these different like strains and whatnot. Like I've had my problems the last 3 days. You know what I mean? Like, so it's all just.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you want to touch? I mean, have you put out anything in regards to like why you pulled out there and stuff?
Oh yeah. I mean, like my asthma was playing up obviously from something that I'd picked up. But I did another test this morning, negative again. But I definitely don't feel 100% on court. So, whether that is, I don't know.
Something flying around at some point.
Maybe, yeah. You never know. Really, you never know.
I mean, touching on the topic of like the media, and where like it all kind of goes from here. Like, can you see, a version play out where, for example, come Monday, Novak's going to have an opportunity to kind of, what's the word? He's got a court case effectively to try and see if he can stay in Melbourne and win that. Could you guys see a reality where he actually, comes out in a positive light there, or actually doesn't get deported in that sense?
I actually had a bit of a laugh about this to Horse and, well, I don't know if it was the Horse, but it was someone else. I was like, he's going to be fucking angry. If he's allowed to play, he's going to be angry. He's going to be a tough motherfucker to beat. I'll tell you that much, bro. Like, if he like is able to play and get out of this, I don't want to verse him, bro.
Yeah. I mean, he'd be so fueled.
I don't want any bar of that. I don't want any bar of that Novak who's going to be out there like a villain Novak again. I want no part of it, bro. I'll be like, God. I'll be like,
yeah, you'd be trying to steer clear of that side of the draw.
How many backhands do you think he'll miss if he's pissed at the crowd? Like, oh,
yeah, but
bro,
do you reckon he could ride the whole 2 weeks being a villain and win it?
Bro, that energy is different. Like being loved is great, but like the villain energy is different, bro. I don't want to play him, bro. I don't want to play him, bro. First round, I fear the man who draws in first round, bro. You're getting breadsticks, bro.
If he can have obviously a few days on the court, like it doesn't come straight out of like quarantine or something. I could see, I was actually saying this to Falls, I could see a reality in which, for example, if any unvaccinated traveler comes into Australia right now, because I think in America we can go, but we've got to spend 5, I believe, I'm going to fact check it, but I think it's 5, maximum 7 days quarantine, right? So if that's the case, I think I certainly would be fine as a Victorian, as I said to Frawls, having him stay, keep him in a hotel, obviously upgrade him from the Park Royal, whatever this, facility is that he's staying at. Let's get him in the Hyatt or whatever the main hotel is for AO. Let's
get him with his team, bro.
With his team, actually keep him, isolated for 5 days, 7 days, whatever it is. And then let's let him play after that. I think, because the current isolation for us right now, Frawls, I think you said to me, is 7 days, right?
If you got COVID, it's 7 days.
If you got COVID, it's 7 days, bro. So Novak, who's unvaccinated but not positive, can't just isolate for 7 days in a hotel room. Like, is that really where we're at with COVID? Like, do you know what I mean? Or am I sounding crazy saying that?
I don't know.
I don't
bro.
know.
I don't
Honestly,
know.
like if you take a step back and look at like, imagine 2 years ago if we thought we'd be sitting here having this conversation about someone who's not going to take a vaccine, can't come into a country and play a tournament. Like honestly, it's
to this
pretty
extent,
crazy.
though, like literally our LeBron
yeah.
James of our sport.
He's the
It's
current
really
LeBron
crazy.
James, isn't he?
He is, and like,
I mean,
But like
what I
from a
don't
different
like as well is
perspective,
like, what do you say?
like you got like players that have actually tested positive to COVID and come into the country, like Nadal and Shapovalov.
wait,
And
no,
there's others
Nadal
as well.
tested positive on his entry in. I thought he was tested positive in Abu Dhabi or something.
Was he?
he's
But I'm
coming
pretty sure he
into
had to
the-
quarantine. He had to
I
quarantine,
think
right?
Chapo
7
did. I know
days.
Chapo. You're right with Chapo, but I don't think Nadal did. I think he was quarantined in Abu Dhabi. Anyway, irrelevant.
Okay, maybe I got that wrong. I thought he did anyway. But you got these guys that come in. Okay, yeah, they're vaccinated, but they tested positive. But Novak's come in, probably tested negative, but he's unvaccinated with a health exemption. But he's more of a worry. Like, I mean, I know the rules are the rules, but like, it's getting a little bit funny. I think it's getting a little bit
you're
funny.
right. If you think about it like that, it's a bit, it's pretty crazy, isn't it?
It's a little scary.
And you got
It's
like what more than
like where's the line in the sand going to be drawn? Like, as in, okay,
Well,
enough's
that's the
enough.
media, bro. Like the media has shone light upon this and made it the most relevant thing. But then there's like obviously things that are around the world that are actual genuine problems that need, you know,
Obviously,
spotlight and more awareness to, and we're focusing on this.
But not just media though. I'm talking like government kind of like view on stuff. Like, where's the line in the sand going to be drawn and say enough's enough? Like, we've shielded ourselves as best we can, right? Obviously, it's up shit creek now. Excuse my French. But having 40,000 odd numbers a day in Sydney, and I think we're at 30,000 today in Melbourne, or 20,000. Sorry. Like, I think that ship sailed. Like, now we've kind of lost track of it. Whatever. It's a different, contagious variant. But when's the line in the sand going to be drawn and said like enough's enough? We're not going to kind of like hold such high regard for this flu like disease. You know what I mean?
I have no idea, bro. I had the same conversation to Horse the other day. I was like, where is like, I mean, yeah, we probably have less deaths, but like obviously with this variant, it's not as lethal. But like, it's like, how much progress have we really made in 2 years type thing?
We're still doing
like
the
not
same
as much
stuff.
as not as much as I'd like. Like I thought in 2 years' time, for sure we would be over this. Surely.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's something you can't get rid of. Like the flu comes up every year.
Not
and
get
like
rid of, just
the whole plan was, yeah, for sure. Like, the whole idea was, we lock down, majority get vaccinated, the virus is less deadly, and then we move on. But 2 years later, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, you saw even at Christmas, like there was ridiculous wait times for tests and stuff. Like, I just feel like we're a little bit unprepared. And like when, as Bab says, like when does this end? Like,
when can we just play checkers in peace? Yeah.
want to play checkers, man.
Well, we have been playing checkers in peace prior, but I mean, shit's just kind of hitting the fan right now.
In Sydney.
Oi, what do you mean? Oi, we've been playing plenty of checkers before.
Idiot, bro.
Let's go to some players that had some opposing views before we change the topic.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, I
Actually,
don't know any. Oh yeah,
Frawls mentioned to me there's a couple.
So Jamie Murray. Yeah, so Jamie Murray, I think I sent this to you as well, Keys. Jamie Murray, like...
Yeah, but I don't know, bro. I don't really want to talk about those players, to be honest, bro.
Oh, what about Tenny Sangren?
I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding, bro. Oi. Let's get this shit spicy, babe.
Oh my god! So you got Jamie Murray, Tenny Sangren. Shout out my boy Sang, who've come out and spoken publicly about it. Actually, surprising me, Sang actually has been defending Novak in this regard, like full on defending. Obviously, I kind of side in the middle of things, but he's full on the side of Novak's defense. So, Frawls, I mean, you probably know a bit more information than me on that.
Yeah, I remember seeing the quote.
Yeah, he put up a fair few tweets about it, and yeah, like his views obviously opposing to what probably the media or the general view is.
So tennis,
and I have no issue. Like he's entitled to his opinion, and good on him for like standing up for what he believes in. Like I feel like right now people are so scared to share an opinion that's not the general one, and I feel like it's sad. Like obviously it has to be a respectful way, but Like I don't, yeah. As a society, I think like we have to respect all opinions and
Definitely, but that's
like
what I mean.
instead of
People are
hating
so-
people and attacking Djokovic
Yeah.
personally, like how is that helping the situation?
That's what I mean.
Like,
The
we have to
media's not
try and move
helping the
forward from this.
situations at all. Like they're not helping any
Yeah.
situation. And like
Definitely.
that's why people are so afraid to speak out, bro. Like everyone thinks
Yeah.
it's cool to like kind of just go there like the same way as everyone else, and they don't even believe it. And that's half the problem. Like it's not right. Like, bro, do you know how easy it would have been for me to just side with the people and side with like, you know, the vaxxers for good publicity, bro? But I'm just like, it's not right, bro. Like it's not right what we're doing. It's not right. Like it's not, we're not going about it the right way. We should be disappointed.
I agree.
And like, bro, I could have been milking this out for good publicity, bro, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that has to be noted for sure, because like you've obviously
like,
had your issue
like,
differences with Novak over the years for sure. But no one seems to want to talk about that either, you know, like, but I think that's what's surprising. There are some people coming to Novak's defense and saying, and I like that, actually thinking about it, because it's like, you know, people are actually speaking their mind. People are, you know, kind of waking up in the sense of,
facts.
You know, don't just conform and say like, you know, even though I'm sitting here in the middle, I'm still not changing my opinion on that. That's my opinion. But like, you know, don't just side with someone because it's the, you know, what everyone else is doing. You know, like just because someone says to walk off a bridge doesn't mean you're going to go and walk off a bridge because they've just told you to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One more thing as well, just for the people, for a little bit of context. Like I was reading in an article that like there was about 26 players that applied for exemptions, and only like 4 or 5 got it. So like, you know, there's people like Sangren who couldn't apply because he didn't meet any of the criteria. Whereas like obviously Novak did. So that's another thing as well. It's not like we're letting all these unvaccinated tennis players in that haven't met some sort of criteria. That's just one more thing.
I mean, obviously that we'll never really know, because we're obviously not going to ever be in the room, neither one of us, to be reading nor hearing what his, you know, actual reason that he's listed. We can only read what the articles are being, you know, released saying, oh, like some report was the information was invalid or incorrect or something, you know. So that's all we get. Unfortunately, we're not privileged enough to be able to read that. Hence why it's just our opinions obviously flying around. But yeah, I mean, just be crystal clear, like you said earlier, Frawls, Tennies goes, 2 separate medical boards approved his exemption, and, you know, politicians are stopping it. You know, I mean, Tennies has gone out and said some pretty big stuff. I think what's going to be awesome is to see what kind of comes out in the next, because Novak's hearings on Monday. I'd love to hear more from Victorian government and, you know, the other governing bodies that have had any kind of, you know, hands-on role in this with Novak, because I'd love to know, you know, was he just flat out, like, aside from his misinformation, filling out of the information, you know, was he just flat out told like, you're good, you're playing, you're 100%, you're fine, and then just railroaded? Or, you know, we're just not going to know. But I'm going to love to see what comes out in the next couple of days for us. Obviously, we wanted to get in early on this and have a good discussion, because us three haven't been able to, you know, talk about it.
I hope I think this will be, it'd be sick, like, for him to play after all this. Like, in my opinion, as an athlete, to see, I love a bit of a story like this, and an athlete to, you know, like, it'd be pretty good to see him.
It's gonna be mad to follow the story through. Like, imagine 2 weeks.
Like, imagine Monday. This. I somehow start turning shit up for Oz Open, like 4th round, Rod Laver, Kyrgios, Novak. It would be the highest fucking rating tennis match in the history. I'll be like, yeah.
He'd be throwing all these out to the crowd
from the get-go. He'd be missing first rounds. I'd be like,
the crowd would be insane for his matches. That's for sure.
Insane. Like, I mean, every match is going to be one of the most watched matches, and for the sport, like, I know, like, fuck, it's bad publicity or whatnot, but it's good for it's good for the sport. Like, bro,
arguably good.
We need fucking fans, bro. Tennis needs fans. Tennis needs news. Tennis needs traction. This is going to bring more eyes on the sport, and I'm all for it, bro.
I think,
even though it's probably not the right way, but
yeah, I mean, it's trying to make the best out of a bad situation, no?
Yeah, bro. There's going to be heaps of people watching. This is probably the most watched Oz Open now, if he plays.
100%. And obviously we're gonna be following a lot of different, like, you know, stories and whatnot. I feel like,
hey, Novak.
Dude, I wouldn't mind rocking up to a couple of these games, this little like fucking sign and shit. Actually, Frawls, mention that because Frawls sent me something
you
today.
got kicked out.
I think that was mind-boggling.
Yeah, I
We've got
saw
to
a
talk
video
about
on Instagram.
Ridiculous, bro.
So some people had like a sign. I mean, we didn't get to see exactly what the sign had on it, but apparently it was
Said, like,
something
let's
to
go
do with
Novak or
Novak on it.
We don't know what it
Yeah,
said.
and, like,
we don't
the
know what it said though.
Yeah, the security's coming.
You're not allowed to have any
Holden.
Novak sign in Rod Laver Arena or something.
I mean, geez, that's getting pretty crazy.
So a couple
Too
sitting there and just watching a match, and they were supporting like one of Novak's countrymen. Is that right or no?
No, I think they were just taking the piss, bro. They were like,
There you go, a little bit, but still, like, I mean, that's just a crazy view that, like, Tennis Australia. I think Tennis Australia, the security of just kind of. I mean, look, you know why they're doing it because they don't want like any traction on it further than what it's already obviously escalated to. But you know, just kind of moving a little bit away from that, but also linking it too. I mean, look, Kiggs, no secret, Kyrie just played his first game yesterday. I mean, he had a good game.
I don't want to talk about the league, bro. I'm not in the mood for it.
Yeah, why is that?
Today, bro.
What did something happen to the green, the Celtic green today? Like, what happened there actually? Because I was talking to a couple of people about it.
Bro, we were up 27, and we lost to New York by a buzzer beater, bro. Like, I don't want to talk about NBA. This is an anti-NBA.
We're just talking a little, just a smidgen about Kyrie because it's relevant. I like to see the fact that Kyrie, I mean, making good out of a bad situation, wasn't able to play for I don't know how many games in. We're probably like 40 odd games in now, but like the fact that he's able to at least grace the court, give the fans, the kids out there some hope to just see their childhood heroes play. Right, obviously similar to Novak, like these kids, there'll be plenty of kids out there wanting to see Novak play.
100%. Like,
but it's a little different. He's obviously playing away only on games where the current state in America
rules
allow the Novaks athletes able to play.
I like it. He stood his ground and he kind of waited and just didn't budge really. And it's good to see him back on court. Obviously, like you want someone with that amount of talent and that amount of like influence to get back out there as soon as possible. Like even if he plays like shit, he's got fans that just want to see him play and be Kyrie. So obviously he played well. Like I saw his stats, 22 points or something. And got the win, which was tough.
He was icy in the last quarter, bro. God went off, bro. I was like, dude, this guy rolled off the freaking couch, man. Oh, he's similar to like our boy Kiggs and Wimby last year. I was like,
yeah, I was just like, bro, like where was this when you burnt our franchise to the ground?
Oh man, dude, I almost forget that Kyrie played for the season.
Like the guy was like, I was like.
Little tinderbox.
So dog, bro. The Celtics, bro. I don't know. I don't want to talk about the Celtics for like. I'm boycotting the Celtics for the next 5 episodes.
Yeah, no, I think I would too. But I mean, I go for the Cavs now. So I feel like I'm on to bigger and better things. Leaving the Lakers. I think Rondo's gonna have a mad role. So I'm pretty excited for bigger things, dude. I'm holding a little like little sword in my hand and shit now. I'm like, wee, like. I'm out of that LeBron saga as much as I actually know he's the GOAT of basketball now. Like, it's not even a debate.
He's a GOAT.
But I think this has been a really like different kind of episode for us to kind of do.
Discussion.
It's a discussion. It's, I think, keep an eye out. Obviously, guys, if you're expecting full length episodes, we're still going to keep doing those. But I think this would be a really good time to kind of tell everyone that I think it'd be awesome if we can kind of chime in on these kind of topics and just put, shed some light on some things maybe people don't know, or for example, just, we educate ourselves on a topic and just kind of discuss it. Cause I feel like the more people discussing a topic, the better it is for, just the general public actually. Cause sometimes the information we're given, in limelight media, it's not always accurate, is it? They only want to show you a snippet of what's actually going on. Whereas, we're no boundaries, man. We're gonna search through that shit. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna really find out what's going on.
And also, we're trying to get some exciting guests throughout the next couple of weeks too, which would be good.
No, definitely. So we're gonna have the main apps rolling through, but shout out Frawls to push this one ahead. Good initiative from the bro right there. But I think it's been a good one, fellas.
To have discussion
No,
about
it's
it.
been
So
good.
yeah,
It's
it was
been good.
awesome.
Guys, if you are on Spotify, make sure you give it that 5-star. Just like spin that bad boy, give it a 5. We are the #1 podcast in the world, so you got to support us like it, baby. Drop a sub on YouTube, all that kind of good stuff. We're trying to grow the YouTube out and keep listening, Apple Podcasts, all that kind of good stuff. We're going to be around during AO, so make sure you stick through with us, and we'll see you in the next one.